We're going to move on with a look through the international press with Flo Villamino. Hi there.
Hi, Kat.
We're going to start off with our top breaking news story, developing story, bodies and debris found from that missing AirAsia flight.
Absolutely. As you said, this is a developing story, so papers are trying to catch up with it. Lots of papers are focusing, first of all, on the the search and rescue mission. It's been quite a difficult one. Of course, many of these articles coming out before this latest news. Let's take a look, first of all, at this article in the Wall Street Journal. It points out that one thing that was hindering efforts to find the plane was actually garbage in the sea. There have been several instances where search helicopters thought that they had seen debris. It turned out it was just garbage. And this is a thing that also happened with the missing Malaysia Airlines flight 370 earlier this year. This article says if it wasn't clear before, these two search and rescue missions have confirmed that the seas are full of floating garbage, very much far from civilization at times.
And papers have also been looking into, of course, the other plane that went missing in this region earlier in the year, the Malaysia Airlines flight.
That's right. There are lots of similarities, according to several papers. The events in recent days might seem grimly familiar. This is an article in Slate that says, why do planes keep disappearing? And it takes a closer look at what the two instances had in common, what they didn't have in common. There are lots of parallels, but one major difference, and Slate says that's weather. The AirAsia flight disappeared in a close proximity to a tropical thunderstorm, whereas the Malaysia Airlines flight disappeared in pretty calm weather. Now, the New York Times points out that even if weather was a cause, the difficulty in locating the wreckage underscores limitations in how planes are tracked. How can modern jetliners simply disappear in today's hyper-connected world? And the New York Times points out that these days airlines provide Wi-Fi for their passengers, and yet they still don't stream data in real time about a plane's location and condition. And several papers are also wondering, have lessons been learned over the past couple of months? That's what The Independent is wondering today as well. And it points out, though, that since the Malaysia Airlines jet disappeared, the International Civil Aviation Organization has been considering new rules about tracking planes, but it's very slow to put this in place because it's very expensive to put in place.
Okay, well, we will, of course, bring our viewers more updates on this story as we get them. They are starting to come in relatively quickly now. But we're going to move on to another major story in the press today. We're talking about Greece. Will's been telling us in the business news the markets fell by up to 11%
that's right,
on the back of the news of the snap election yesterday. The papers, of course, have a lot to say about this.
That's right. I think the Wall Street Journal sums up the situation quite well on their front page today. You can see two photos that present what's happening in Greece quite well. So you have two different versions of Greece. On the left there, you can see the conservative Prime Minister, Antonis Samaras, reacting quite sadly to this news. And then, of course, you can see the man of the moment, Alexis Tsipras. He's the leader, of course, at the far left Syriza party. He's applauding there in Parliament. Let's take a look also at how the Greek press is reacting. Lots of worry today in the Greek press, it must be said. This is Tanea, the center-left paper. It's talking about these elections that nobody wanted, so these general elections scheduled for later in January. Greece ends the year in a major period of instability. I pulled out another paper that I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing, Eleftherotypia. It talks about the end of an era today. Things are definitely going to be very different in the coming months and years in Greece. And let's take a look at Ketimerini. This is a center-right paper. In their editorial, they're critical of the outgoing government. No one can argue it did a good job, but it says that nothing is convincing in the rubbish promises being dished out by the so-called anti-memorandum forces. These are forces that are opposed to the Troika deal. So you have the far-left Syriza party, but you also have the far-right Golden Dawn party. And this paper says that the only thing that we can know for sure about the coming future for Greece is that it's going to be a very unstable one.
Okay, well, we'll be hoping for the opposite, of course, and making some New Year's resolutions at the same time as well. I'm sure our viewers will have a few that they'll be making as well. And you've got the Daily Beast talking about New Year's resolutions.
That's right. This is an article that could save you a lot of time. Now, a lot of people turn to self-help books to help them make these New Year's resolutions, to break bad habits, become a better person. Well, this author, Lizzie Croker, she has read the best self-help books from 2014 and made a summary for you.
Wow.
Take
That
away
is
to
helpful.
make your 2015 a better year. But you can see here, she says, can self-help books really make a new you? I guess that'll be up to you to find out, but it's very useful. It'll help you break free from emotional issues, it'll help you get financial freedom, freedom from chemical dependency, and this one I could use, freedom from addiction to technology.
Okay, I need freedom from going to bed too late, I think. We'll have to have a good look at that article, I think. Thanks very much. Flo Villamino there with a look through the international press.